Stan Gibilisco here from the white, sloppy, gritty hills of Dakota Territory. Here's big number 8, which I may want to rename the Porcupine Mobile. There's the 8-foot whip antenna for, well, it's cut for resonance on 28 megahertz and it works really well there. I finally got the South Pacific. What do you know? I got the South Pacific. I got New Zealand. I worked from right here, parked in the driveway just about an hour ago on, I believe, 10 meters. There, I don't know how well you can see it, is the ATAS, Active Tuning Antenna System, which I just hooked up. From Yaesu, goes with the Yaesu radio, secondary antenna. Haven't tested that thing yet. Then if you'll look up top, kind of got to be careful walking around here. We had about a foot of snow last night, maybe 10 inches, something like that. It was really heavy stuff. You know, the kind of stuff that they must have seeded the clouds with WD-40. Because going up that driveway, even after I shoveled it off, it slithered and slid. Big number 8 did. So there's 3 antennas, and of course you got the FM antenna for the radio. Now here I decided, well, I'm going to take all the stuff I got and put it in here. There's the Palstar. Now I want to talk a little bit about this Palstar. I had claimed that it would resonate only at frequencies higher than the frequency of the antenna. That it would only get a match at higher frequencies. So I would only work on 6 meters with this. But with patience, I managed to tune this thing, and I can make that antenna take power at a 1-to-1 SWR, that whip antenna, all the way down to 30 meters, and there are the settings. I just wrote them down with pencil, big fat pencils. Can you see those down there? When you have a car in a cold climate or a truck, and you want something to write with, use pencils, because they won't freeze up on you. Pens will. And I figured, okay, well, now I got all this other gear. I may as well hook up the 2-meter Yaesu radio, too. And there you see it, that orangish, yellowish glow down there. I had an old Cobra CB. Well, not that old. It's actually kind of new. And so I said, shucks, I got this thing. Got the Nerdmobile. May as well put all my gear in there. So there's the CB, kind of Velcroed and taped to the top of the 2-meter radio, making sure to get plenty of ventilation and plenty of room for sound to come out. Radio Shack SWR meter for the CB. And then I've got a CB antenna that I can take out of the trunk here and screw in place of this thing if I actually want to try and operate CB. I don't know how well I'm going to no, it's not a whip antenna, pardon me. It is a helical wound 5/8 wave resonant or something like that. Anyway, it screws right in there to the same base as this whip does. Now I ought to get a regular full-size CB whip now. And now the thing is, you got about 13 foot of coax RG58U running from this thing snaking around inside big number 8 until it finally gets to the Palstar, which I have nothing but praise for. If you're going to force feed an antenna, you are going to have a high SWR on that feed line, so you don't want to run too much power. But you aren't going to have a heck of a lot of loss because the feed line is so short. There just isn't that much loss to begin with, so you can't get that much more even with a 10-to-1, 15-to-1 SWR on that line. But this tuner can take care of that. Part of the trick is that as you're tuning, you want to look at the cross needle meter there. I don't know how well you can see that meter. I'm trying to focus in on her, but I'm not having much luck. Not having much luck. There you go. Oops, hit the key by mistake. There you see the cross needle meter. Forward power on that left-hand scale, reflected power on that right-hand scale. What you want to do with that is if you can't seem to get a dip in the reflected power, look for a peak in the forward power. Look for the forward power to peak. When you get a peak in the forward power, you're near the dip in the reflected so you can then adjust. I adjusted the inductor until the forward power appeared to peak, and then adjusted the capacitor until the reflected power would dip, and then a little tweaking, and you know the drill if you have a Transmatch. There's the old trusty FT857D. See that sign up there? It says beware of ice. Shucks. That's all there is here. Anybody who can't see that on the driveway needs to have their head examined. There's the paddle. Gear paddle. So I got everything fired up here in the Porcupine Nerdmobile. From the white and sloppy and gritty hills of Dakota Territory. March, what is the date today? The 18th? March 18th, 2014. I like the snow though. I mean, it makes the trees so cool looking when you're driving down a deadwood. It is just an idyllic spot. I'd like to stay here. I went on that trip to Wyoming. That's a cool place too, but I like it here. Grows on you, you know, after 10 years. 60 years old now. You get a little settled, you get a little soft. What the hey? Stan Gibilisco, W1GV, Whiskey 1. Good. Vibrations all the way down to 30 meters now. I can make that thing take power. 73. And so long for now.